What do you think people in Montana care most about?
Um, I think Montanans truly care about just living an honest life, um, which I think makes them generally suspicious of strangers
Hmm.
or who they may refer to as outsiders. But I think that that's true of really any rural state. And I know that
Yeah.
you're from Wisconsin
Yeah.
originally, so you might, I don't know how small of a town you're from, but I feel like you've probably felt
Yeah. Rural
this.
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. For sure. So what? So we have this vast land out in the American West where Montana is. What makes Montana different than its neighbors? You have Idaho, Wyoming, the Dakotas, and Canada. What makes Montana special compared to those?
I wish that I had a very academic response to this question, but all I can say is sales tax.
Sales tax.
We don't have sales tax.
Wow.
Rejoice.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty big deal. How many states
It
don't have
is.
sales tax?
Oh man, that's a great question. It is a handful. 5.
Oregon, Nevada.
Actually, Oregon, New Hampshire,
Oh, New Hampshire.
Montana, Delaware, and Alaska.
Okay.
I
So
guess Nevada does have sales
I
tax.
heard someone who lives in Portland say once that there's no sales tax, but instead there's a conversation tax where each time you buy something, you have to like have more conversation with somebody because there's no sales tax. Is that true at all or no?
That's hilarious. I find myself, I guess, having a lot more conversations here, maybe, but that's also just because I frequent a lot of small businesses, and I
Yeah.
guess at this point I'm familiar with a lot of them. So, but that's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. What would you say is the most popular sport in the state?
Um, yeah, so rather than trying to, I guess, define a population by a single sport, even though I mean high school athletics are very huge here. I think that's sort of a given with any collection of small towns.
Yeah,
Um, it's very important.
very important.
But I did read a statistic recently that 80% of Montanans pursue some sort of outdoor recreation, which makes sense. So I mean, that could mean, like we discussed before, skiing, hiking, rafting, kayaking, and then fishing and hunting, which I'm learning about more. I'm trying to
Yeah.
learn more about it. I think it's fascinating. It is, you know, literally one of the oldest like behaviors
Yeah.
humans have exhibited. So
Hmm.
I just think that that's really fascinating. And also just like the intersection of hunting and conservation. I'm trying to learn about more. So hopefully in the coming weeks, I'll have published some more articles where I explore that relationship, because even though I grew up in this space,
Hmm.
there's still so much that I don't understand, especially since I was, away for so long. And I
Yeah.
think that there is a huge percentage of the country that
Hmm.
still doesn't necessarily associate like the harvesting of wild animals to be something that's still relevant. So I'm just trying to learn more about it, trying to have more conversations with my father about it.
Yeah.
Would like for that to bring us closer. And who knows? Check in with me next year, and
Probably know a lot more.
maybe, yeah, maybe I'll have actually experienced it myself.
Yeah. Now, when you say the word conservation, How do you mean it? And in what ways does Montana support conservation?
Well, I think that there are definitely different definitions of the conservation space. I think if we're speaking about the sportsmen of the
Mhm.
state, of the hunters and the fishermen, I think that, outside of the pursuit of the trophy, you know,
Mhm.
I I do think that there is an element of herd management
Mhm.
to hunting. I mean, especially as more people move into a space, as all of
Yeah.
those, like all of those wilderness spaces that we were discussing
Mhm.
earlier, as that acreage becomes smaller and smaller, um, I guess humans just have to be more mindful in how they're interacting, or potentially, and unfortunately, I guess, controlling the wildlife that also continues
Yeah.
to cohabitate the area.
Yeah.
So obviously, I have a lot more to learn, um, but I know from the few conversations that I have had with people who hunt, although there are a lot of reasons for doing that. A lot of it is, tradition, family history, feeding their families. All of those are
Yeah.
very real reasons that people still hunt here. I do think that there is an element of respect for nature too. It's just very,
Yeah.
very ancient and very primal still.